guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rico Richardson, and in this episode I'm going to show you guys how to use 3 steps in Darktable, 3 modules or 4 modules if you count the denoise module as well, to show you guys how to get a great result with minimum effort. So let's start. And here's the image that we're going to edit. It's an image I've shot last summer of a girl and her bike, and we did a photo shoot and it was very fun. What I did was, if all goes well, you'll see a base curve on top of this. So just select the orientation module and then compress the history stack, and then this will be the image that you'll start with. What I've done is I've put the modules in my favorites over here. And if you don't see them over here, you can search for them over here. So let's say we're looking for the sharper module, we can fill it in. Or you can go to more modules and then find it down below. Another thing that you can do is you can just look at those menus over here, and then you'll find the module as well. But the most easiest thing is to just put these 4 into your favorites by going to the more modules and then select them, and then we can start with this image. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to change some basic adjustments. You see that it's very dull, it's very flat, it's underexposed as well. So we're going to change the exposure to the right a little bit, and I want to increase the black level as well. And I know I'm crushing the blacks over here, but don't worry, we'll fix that in a minute. What I'm going to do as well is I'm going to increase some contrast by about 0.9. And I'm going to change the middle gray. If you pull this to the right, you see that the image becomes more dark. If you pull it to the left, it becomes more bright. So I just want to pull it to the left just a little bit, so we've got like 4.7 left. And then you can decrease the brightness or you can increase the brightness. Obviously this is way too bright, you see a lot of noise, so I'm just going to tone it down, but I am going to adjust it by just a little bit. And for the saturation, we are going to enhance that by 0.12. I think that will be fine for this image. We're not going to do anything else except for changing the highlight compression. We're going to move that all the way to the right. Sometimes when you have an image that looks absolutely horrible because the highlights will get black edges and stuff like that. So only pull it as far as you can go without ruining the image. So for this image it's 100% because we don't see any artifacts in the sky, so that's very fine. Let's close that one down and let's move on to the next one. And the next one is the tone curve module. So I'm going to activate that one. And let's say you want to address a certain part of the image. For those of you who have edited images before, know what kind of elements are in the image. So we've got the shadows over here, the midtones over here, and then the highlights usually in the sky, and we've got a few highlights over here and over there as well. So what I want to do is, let's say I want to target this area because I think this is very dark. I can do 2 things. I can either click just this point and then place it on top of the tire, or what I can do, let me deselect that, is hit the control, then click it, and that allows me to select an area. So it's got more information to work with, and then it shows up here where in this area the pixels are at. So I want to increase this a little bit to brighten it up. I want to brighten up the midtones as well to really make it stand out. I'm going to bring down the highlights again just a little bit, and I think that looks pretty fine. Maybe decrease the midtones just slightly. There you go. So this is all I'm going to do with the tone curve module, but as you can see it's very powerful because if I deselect it or deactivate it, you see that this is what we started with. And now after I've activated, it's already a lot more bright and it actually looks good. So let's close that one down. Now what I like to do is I like to change some colors. I don't like to go overboard, but for this I want to warm it up just a little bit. I'm not going to change the white balance, but let's open up the color zones. Let's activate it. And we're going to the hue. And what I want to do is I want to warm up these greens. So I'm just going to pull down, because I know the greens are over here. Just going to pull them down ever so gently. Going to bring back the blues. There you go, so that the sky stays blue. And what you can do is you can use a mask, and if you use a mask you can be very precise. But I don't really mind that the entire image is being affected because I just want to warm it up completely, but especially in the green tones. So that's what we've done. Let me show you guys before and after. So I'm going to deactivate it. And here's a before. Now I'm going to activate it, and here's an after, and it's very subtle, but it really changes because a green color is very vibrant. And now with the reds, it's a little bit more toned down so that the emphasis is more on the bike. That's just my opinion though, maybe you think something else, but with the color zones module you can change the hue in any kind of color that you like. For now we're going to keep it as is and let's move on. So now that we've changed that, let me close that one down, and you see we've got one more left, which is the denoise, and that has to do with the fact that if I zoom in, you will see that there's noise. There's noise in the shadows, noise in the midtones, and I think there might be noise in the highlights as well. So let's just click this one, use on the first instance. Let me activate it. And now let's duplicate the instance. And now let's use the second instance. There we go. Going to hit the compress history stack. And now the noise is gone. You see that the noise is gone from the gray area over here. And it does look a little bit soft. If you want to counteract that, you can. I mean, I'm using a 4K monitor, so if I zoom in, it will be a little bit more blurry anyway. But let's say you think this is too blurry. What you need to do is you need to find the sharpen module, just activate it, and I think that looks pretty fine. So let me show you guys a before. Here's a before, here's an after. You'll only notice if you go and pixel peep, but for now I'm going to deactivate it because we're not going to use it in this tutorial. And there you go. Now let me show you guys before and after. I'm going to take a snapshot and I'm going to show you guys by clicking the orientation one. So this is the image that we've started with before we used these 4 modules. And now let's click the snapshot. So we've got the original one on the right, and if I move this to the right, you will see that the image is starting to appear as it is, as we've made it. And that just looks absolutely amazing if you ask me. If you've got any questions about this tutorial, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And that's it for this week. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Did you know that you can now either buy me a coffee or become a patron of this channel? By doing so, you can personally help me grow my channel. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well. And for this week, there's only one more thing left for me to say, which is make love to the like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Hit that bell button to be the first to be notified when I drop in a video. And until next time, doei!